I won't look down, got no regrets. I was made for this. I was made for this. Born in the wild, formed in the fire, built for the battle. I was made for this. I was made for this. A mind over matter, silence the doubters. I have the power. I was made for this.
Lieutenant Scott McFall. I'm current instructor for the Emergency Vehicle Operations Program, or the EVOC program. Teaching them technique, teaching them different techniques of how to control the vehicle, the right way to enter corners, exit corners, maintain control of the vehicle at all times. It's not about speed, it's about being safe and being smart. We do a lot of judgment type instruction where we tell them, this is what can go wrong and what to expect. And we do cover a lot of vehicle dynamics, which is how 2 to 3 miles an hour can make a difference in a corner, how 2 to 3 psi in a tire can make a difference, and a lot of vehicle maintenance stuff. I think the favorite course for all of them is the overall course. It encompasses the entire track, a lot of cones, a lot of technique involved. If they don't have the skill set mastered by the end of the week, by the overall course, you can really tell. But they really enjoy that portion of it. It's a longer course, and they get proficient at it as the more times they do it. So the purpose of it is to go home at the end of your shift, to be safe, to keep the general public safe. Everybody has kind of an idea of driving fast and running red lights, but that's not what we do for what we teach. It's all about how to maintain control of the vehicle, drive at your skill set, your level, so you do not crash the vehicle, and make sure the general public is safe and don't make any bad decisions. We do the pit maneuver, which is a pursuit intervention technique, where we teach them how to spin the vehicle out and contain it and stop it for pursuit reasons or other reasons. My favorite part of teaching is watching them, especially if it's a younger group, because they all come in with the ability to drive a vehicle. And a lot of them come in they have an idea that, I can do this. Or they'll come in a little bit timid as to they've never driven a car at the potential. We'll push these cars too. And it's fun to watch them get excited and really start to understand how the vehicle works and what they're really capable of doing. This particular class that we just finished teaching did amazing, actually. They did some of the higher scores we've seen in a long time. They were very focused. They applied the techniques that were taught to them throughout the week, and they did a great job.
Crash investigations, we teach the recruits to work a crash. I mean, what they do whenever they get there, what's important when they're on scene, what they're looking for as far as roadway evidence, and how to complete a crash report.
We got out there yesterday and we actually got to take our vehicles and they set them up, crash, and we got to go take pictures of the scene, do all the measurements. So, of course, with the scene investigation, what we teach them, obviously, the first and most important thing is to arrive on scene safely, because they're no help if they don't ever make it, then you're having to use resources on attending to their crash. So, first thing is they have to arrive safely. Once they arrive on scene, the second thing is, of course, life preservation, rendering aid to any of those that are injured in the crash. And once they do that, then, depending on the type of crash it is, of course, they're going to do a scene diagram. And we use different tools for completing the scene diagram. One is a roller meter. So basically they find a point of reference, something that is always going to be there where, if anyone ever wanted to come back to the scene and see what measurements they took or plot out where things were within the scene, they can go back to that point of reference. Right now in class, we're working on the report writing and putting into the track system.
Was a result of driver carelessness reaching for a cell phone on the passenger seat. The driver was issued a citation for careless driving.
Once we got out to the field and they actually apply what we taught them in the class, it starts to come together. And I would say by the end, they all had it down pretty good.
My name is Carolyn Wynn. I am a lieutenant with investigations, and the block of instruction that I taught is domestic violence. During the block of instruction, what we do is we break it up. It's usually a week long, and the first couple days is all classroom. So during the classroom portion, we teach them the legal parts of domestic violence, to include case law, and then also how to determine what is considered a household member. And obviously during that block of instruction as well, we provide them, or we teach them on how to provide resources to victims. And that's usually the first couple days. After that, they go through scenario practicals. And the reason for that is because we want to make sure that they're able to apply their skills, what they learned in the classroom, and being able to apply it out there in the field when they're handling domestic violence calls.
Dispatch is going to call you to a house. Again, neighbors complain of loud noises. They can hear arguing. They're not sure what they're arguing about. They just hear loud noise. And basically they're trying to get to sleep, okay? So they're just frustrated saying, look, this happens all the time. We call you guys all the time. Can you guys do something about it? Okay, do you have any questions?
Our location, sir?
It'll just be house number 2.
House number 2. Okay. So recording.
Okay, on you guys.
State police. So I went in with the mentality of like, I can do this, right? I mean, it's just talk to people, right? And just talk and work your way through it. But it was like a shock, you know. There's 2 of us and there's 4 actors and actresses, and they're just screaming and yelling, and it's just chaos. And it was kind of like a wake-up call a little bit. It was good though. I think our training kind of came into part a little bit, and we started to kind of act on it.
You did real well talking him down. Again, he was very amped up. You did well. You asked him his name. You know, you're pat searching him. People are gonna get upset. You know, I don't know if it was because he was so animated that you did a pat search or whatever, but you asked him his name while you're doing it.
Sure.
You know, Taylor or
yes,
Troy Taylor. So that, did that work a little bit once?
Yeah.
So again, good job of doing that.
The important takeaway that we want the recruits to learn is that obviously most important is officer safety.
What's your next goal? What should you be doing?
I want to be in eyesight of my partner.
And because they need to be aware that whenever they go into or whenever they're responding to a domestic violence call, it's always unknown, because they have to be able to determine who is the aggressor and who is the victim. It's important that they realize that each time they respond to a domestic violence call, the dynamics are always different. We have to determine whether there's children in the home who are witnesses, and being able to provide the resources to them. This is when they actually realize that these situations are real, and and they know that they can see the difference for us telling them how they need to handle it versus them actually applying it. And you will see a huge difference when they first respond to the first scenario up until the last day when they respond to the scenario. You'll see a complete change, and it's because they learn from their mistakes. They're given feedback, both positive and things that they need to work on. So, and we always tell the recruits that it's better to make the mistakes during the practicals than making it out when they actually respond to the calls.